A beginner's mind is even more important than enlightenment. Even if you get some big experience, if you lose beginner's mind, you will always have a problem, and even worse, you make a problem. So beginner's mind is really a treasure. And I'm not going to say thank you, although I felt like everybody did a really good job. And I also felt like this retreat, even if somebody else bothered you, my impression was you didn't actively bother them back. Like individually, everybody might be bothered by each other, but it was the first time I felt like people didn't touch each other. Maybe that's because we were, this is 3 retreats in a row with almost no coming and going. So everybody understands each other. And usually if you poke somebody that bothers you, you're not any more settled. You know, it doesn't work unless you have a revenge mind. But it's just, if we can learn to take care of our own mind, the whole universe will be better. And I'm not going to say thank you, because actually, if you make a sincere effort, whether you get, a wonderful result or not, you can thank yourself. Because what occurs to me about this practice is it really helps me. It helps each person to do it. And I think we can even get to the point where even if everything around you is falling apart or terrible, you can find okay place inside. Zen Master Songsan always talked about help others, world peace. And he devoted his body, mind, blood, sweat, effort, everything to that. And yet one day when we were just a few of us were together, and it was just Sanims, he just out of nowhere said, world peace not possible. And I was shocked. I remember Musangsa and I were like, what? We've been hearing this for 30 years. And then he said, world peace not necessary. I got it. In a way, it doesn't matter if I don't find peace inside myself. Even if the whole world is at peace, if we're not peaceful inside ourselves, it won't help us. And even if the whole world is a mess, if we can find that truly settled place inside, and that includes a few elements that I'll talk about in a minute, it's okay. And that's the point of Buddhism. Our mind makes our world. So if our mind is still troubled, if I don't feel satisfaction after I made an effort, even if the result is almost nothing, then we have to we have to refine our effort, and we have to pay attention, and we have to have a beginner's mind and try other things to find out how. Most people know all my stories and stuff, and I tucked myself in a corner of a Zen center twice for about a year and a half, and I was incredibly miserable. But when I think of it now, what I remember is doing the Great Dharani all the time, even though it didn't relieve me at that time. And then what do I remember? I remember the sound of the cars on Olympic Boulevard. I don't remember what I was thinking about that was miserable. I could come up with 1 or 2 basic topics, but these little experiences every day of just normal life, of just hear, see, try a mantra. That's what I remember. So that, I think, is try-mind. Not whether, I've fixed all the problems in my life. And that is satisfying. And that eventually helps you burn off the problems. You may not be the clearest person in the world. Your body may not be very good, but it's okay. It's not me. It's just this load that I'm carrying around. Somehow it got dumped on me. Well, we know I made it, but we made it so long ago. It was the guy I was in a different life. That's not me. I just sort of inherited it somehow, But it's mine, it's my baby. So whatever you do, So we really, what I've seen in the last, we've been 21 months together is we have to keep learning how to practice inside. It's an inside thing. And in many ways, it doesn't matter what our body condition is. A lot of people got enlightened while they were sick. Unmun got the door slammed on him. He broke his leg and got enlightenment. People did all kinds of things that weren't they had experiences that weren't wonderful, but they saw through something because they had two main things. One is you have to work in your practice to make that strong. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the Dharma room or working in some part of the temple or sick in your bed. You can always work on that. If you do mantra, use the mantra to try and cut off your thinking and feeling. Or at the very least, not attached to what arises. And even though we can do this in the interview room, or we don't even believe in it, that's because we don't have it. We didn't get it inside. That's why we can't do it. If we just do it and it means something to you, it's obvious. I mean, you don't have to slam the floor as hard as you can. I used to do that. And it was because I was so dead that unless I felt pain in my hand, I still felt dead. But if you got that inside and appreciate it, it's evident in everything you do. So work on it. We didn't get it. Just look at yourself and do I have confidence in that? If I don't, that means I didn't really get it yet. And it comes from mind, intelligent, trying in some way that has some intelligence. And there's many ways to work on it. Many, many, many ways, And very few of them are social talking. That's sort of, to me, a lot of social talking, which I do a lot, but usually it has some point or just sharing some bright energy at the right time. But social talking is more like what you do when you're not working on really getting clear. Or it's okay. Everybody's fine that time, so you're just sharing. So work on this. And it doesn't end with Kyolche at all, and it never does. And even if you get a great enlightenment with Sansanim, it never ended for him. And I think the reason Kobang Sanim was so happy to meet Sansanim, even during the first interaction, he hit Sansanim. He didn't tell him, "You're wonderful," is because he knew, it may be just my idea, he knew this man is not going to stop. He's gone for that point, he got a strong taste, and he's not going to ever stop. And he has the other part, which is correct direction. Correct direction has two parts. And I just thought of this, and don't think I've talked about it before. Of course, one part we know, helping others. Helping others is so natural when you realize there's no I. It's the simplest thing in the world. Doing it well takes a lot of experience, but wanting to is so simple. It automatically appears as you feel like, what am I? Really, not just what am I, but really, what am I? What am I? Other part is question. You have a question, And I remembered some, because lots of times I say things just in everyday life here, little things when I see you, because lots of times I can tell you're feeling. It's not like some psychic thing. It's just, you can feel the air, right? So as we get to know ourselves, you can, and sometimes you're wrong, so don't hold it. But, it's natural. Sung San Sanim said, If you make your mind empty, other people's minds reflected in your mind. If it's not empty, you will see your mind. You'll see your idea, and then there'll be conflict, you know? But if we have a question, it's so obvious when somebody answers you. Question. We all know the story, you know, the guy buys the horse. Oh, you know, your horse runs so fast. That's wonderful. Well, that's good. What's good? What's bad? And then his son breaks his leg riding the horse, and they say, oh, that's bad. He says, what's good? What's bad? And then the army comes through and they can't take the son because he's got a bad leg. Oh, that's so good. You're so lucky. That's so good. What's good? What's bad? Do you keep that mind? If you don't have what am I? So you've got to make the effort to change my thinking and my feeling and my idea into big question. And why? To help all beings, because helping all beings is helping myself. They're not different. There's one thing. And so that's important. So I felt this was about the smoothest retreat in terms of people not getting into active arguments with each other. It doesn't mean that because the retreat's over, it's time to tell everybody what you really think. That won't help. But if you are not getting some satisfaction inside, then you have to really consider, my effort must not be quite right, okay? Don't waste your time just because we live in the temple, lay people worsening doesn't mean you're practicing right yet. It might be the best place in the world for you. I can tell you from my lay life, there's lots of problems you can get into and you can make for yourself. And there's surprisingly less you can make in a temple, you know? That's why, what's his name? Wan Hyosanim said in Starter's Mind, even if you have no talent or ability, if you live in a mountain temple, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are happy. You're already removing yourself from karma you could make. We can make it here, but if you're not doing so good, think of the karma you'll make if you join the big social life. But if that's where you need to go to find out, how do I refine my effort? But we can see ourselves. If we don't have some degree of satisfaction, like I said, I was miserable. It was like, on the verge of kaboom. But what I remember is just continuing. And so now, as that other karma worked itself out and disappeared, my memories are, first it was listening to ocean sounds. I was so bad, I couldn't calm down no matter what. So Musangsa bought me a CD player and a CD of ocean sounds. Now I try it when I can't sleep, doesn't help at all. But that time, it was helpful, And the next sound I remember, just laying there doing mantra and thinking, half my brain thinking like total garbage thinking, the guy next door practicing the piano, he was pretty good. And then a few months later, the cars on the 6-lane boulevard, half a block away, sounded beautiful in the evening. LA, who would say LA traffic sounds beautiful? We can get like this because life is suffering, which isn't bad. Your body can have all kinds of pain. Sansanim's body had pain, Buddha's body had pain. But I think you can still be happy. So that's great. We've come to this point and we see ourselves, even a quiet retreat like this, we had some experiences. Okay, how can I make my effort more effective? And of course, we always can. The thing I thought about Sungsan in America is he's the best student because he's the Zen master because he's the best student. He keeps don't know mind and he's learning from us all the time. He's learning. What do Americans think? What does this person think? What does that person think? What helps this person? What helps that person? So what I've noticed recently is if you have this mind that learning, this kind of type of learning is endless, instead of feeling like, oh my God, no, it's like, wow, it's wonderful. It's what they mean when they say the further out you go in the ocean, the deeper it gets, you know? So I hope all of us take the experience we had and get a sense of where I'm at and where I need to, you know, some of us will know, oh, I need to put more effort in this part or this, or how I do this, or my mind here. And some of us won't know. Then we have to explore, like what actually helps. How we keep our mind, that's number one, but sometimes our circumstances also. And we don't have to just be victims of whatever, a place, another person, or the universal nature of things. Next, emotions. Okay, so once again, get it again. And don't make it a thing. It just means when my thought appears, I really wonder whether it's, you know, what was that about? That's all. Then right away, you know, you're taking away, I'm right, that mind, I'm right. You know, you're making it weaker. And there's lots of techniques. I used mantra to do that, and later breathing, and now, I don't know, everything causes it to be woo. And the second is correct direction, which really means not just help others, it means having a question. Then if somebody says to you, how you doing today? I used to hate that question when I first lived in the Zen Center. Because the truth is, I hate everything, you know, or I hate myself, you know. But now it's like, well, I don't know, you know. But like, I have a good experience with Pope Songsan. You know, I'm miserable when I wake up. I wander into the room the area downstairs to throw away my trash, and he says, oh, good morning, how are you? And you know, I started, you know, you can say this thing standing here talking to you, but I realized when I think about that, it's actually kind of funny because it's true. And why think about so much how I feel? That never helped me feel better. You know, of course I feel miserable. That's the way it is, you know. So why even worry? And he goes, and I said something, I don't know what, oh, and it's good to see you, you know. I'm standing here and I'm happy to see you. And he goes, I like your attitude. You got a great attitude. That guy, interact with him. Good luck, Sanim. So get that question mind. Question every thought you have, you know. It ain't me. It's just some stupid habit, you know. Why keep replaying it? Well, we put energy into it. Second thing, what's an emotion? You know, they complain in America that Zen doesn't help you with emotions. So Thich Nhat Hanh writes a lot about emotions. So if you're not sure how to deal with emotions, I'm sure Thich Nhat Hanh has a gata you can use for whatever situation. It might help. What I realized is emotion is sensation and an idea. Then you get an emotion. You have some physical sensation and you have an idea. And what's funny is it doesn't always happen that way. It's not first sensation, then an idea, then an emotion. It happens that way quite often. Often it's I have an idea and the sensation I pay attention to is the one that helps me helps my idea turn it into the same emotion again. And what my experience is I see the idea underneath the emotion, and there's always I. You know, it disguises itself in a million ways, but there's always I. And, you know, if we start to see it, then it doesn't have as much hold on us. Then sensations are different and don't always lead to the same emotion. And we notice sensations we never noticed before. And they're not good, not bad. They're just sensations. And Buddha said the first thing that appears in humans' experience is sensation. This part Theravada Buddhism breaks down very well. First there's sensation, then it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. It's automatic without thinking about it. The cats have the same thing, okay? Then we're attracted to it or repelled from it. The cats have the same thing, okay? Then we like it or we dislike it. That's a more complicated, each level is more complicated and has more I. And then, this is the way religion kills you. It's good or bad. That's why they say in Zen, don't make good and bad. Then at least you're down to, I like, I don't like. Well, that's a little closer to reality. And if you go below that, I'm attracted to it or I'm repelled from it. Oh, I'm attracted to that. One day you're like, yeah. That is what makes me end up feeling miserable, but I'm attracted to it. That's also what sensations we pay attention to. And if we go under that, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. And that's a lot easier to deal with, especially when you realize everything's not pleasant, but it's okay. It's just pleasant or unpleasant. It's unpleasant. And if our center becomes strong, it doesn't move us. Okay, that's unpleasant. Now I know. Many people, when they experience that, I understand their feeling of unpleasant, even if it's on a different sensation. And then pure sensation, you're down to reality. And any wisdom that grows from there is real. But as long as it's not dependent on I. So when you have an emotion, look at that. It's not good, not bad. You can use it well, you can use it really badly, every emotion. So, question. If we get so that we always have a question, then actually the world can't trap you. You may feel shitty, but it can't trap your mind. So I hope after this retreat, everybody has a sense. How's this? Do I get it? Can I do that at least some amount of time? 1%? Well, that's a lot better than it was last AUG, which was 0.5%, And appreciate that is the road to freedom. That's the start. And the second, question. Okay, so let's use this. It was a nice retreat. It was smooth. Everybody ends up, so or this. Most everybody says thank you. When we were going around, I was thinking, if we gave the circle talk at the halfway point, how many people would say thank you? Because you're going to be with the same people for another 6 weeks. I don't think there'd be a lot of well, if you leave now, thank you. Okay, lots to work on, but it's pretty simple. Question. And then if you don't know what to do, help somebody. And if you do know if you decide what to do, cause and effect will become clear. Okay, so better than nothing. So this sums up my whole retreat in the room there, what I see when I see you guys around the temple. So let's try that. Hey Jay's coming, which means practice time, inside practice, while outside, go here, go there, okay? So don't lose your inside practice. Very simple. What is this hit mind? What is that? How do I do that to myself inside? And question. And then curiosity. And if you need, try things. Try something, and that will help. And I think some people have plans to try different things, situations. That also can be a big help. Okay? So, thank you.